13 months. It has been 13 months. I had big plans to do like 1 year review and then holidays and COVID. And then I got a little over enthusiastic when we first got the trim and I laid it all out on the ground and I went to town painting and I managed to lock up my SI joint. In case you're wondering, definitely on a not to experience list. In case you've never experienced it, you don't want to. It sucks. But despite holidays, COVID hitting our family, we have made some tremendous progress. It has been 2 months since we last chatted and a lot has happened. We got the insulation into the attic. That was huge. It is warm in here. Even though I have my hat on, that's because it's like negative 13 degrees outside or something like that. And I'm always cold, so a hat's needed. But the house itself is actually staying at a temperature that is acceptable despite the cold weather. And it is beautiful. We have been hit by like 13 inches of snow, wind chill warnings, all that stuff, and it is gorgeous. Pardon the saw. Since we have insulation, we have been able to do a whole bunch of other things inside. The ovens are hooked up, connected, and we've actually cooked in them, which is very exciting. The stovetop is in. We have running water for the first time in months. The beauty of running water is something that you don't take for granted after you haven't had it for so long. I didn't realize how much extra went into going outside to get water and not having warm water. So the running water is amazing. We have countertops. The cabinets have been set. I'm still looking forward to seeing it finished because it's not. I bet you are too. Well, all those things are exciting and essential and amazing to have done. The most amazing transformation that we have done since we last spoke was underneath the garage space. If you'll recall, it was pretty gross, dingy, dirty. Ugh. We went ahead, we coated the floor, we painted the beams, we put the wall color to a lighter, brighter color with an accent wall, and it's now ready for storage and play space, which is awesome to see something like done. Like there's electric and everything there. I think it's the first officially done space in the house. Speaking of finished things, we have finished hooking up almost all the lights, and as always, we have discovered a couple things were forgotten. So we're gonna have to do a little backtracking to figure out where do we get power to this point or that point. It's just part of the name of the game, right? But the lights are all hooked up. Ceiling fans are in, light fixtures in the kids' bedrooms are in. All that's remaining for the 3 basement bedrooms to be livable is flooring, and that is outstanding. But speaking of the flooring, while we've done a ton of hard things in this house, like subfloor and framing and the stair movement and all of that, we are now to a point where we are waiting. And that is almost harder, I think, than doing some of those hard things. The flooring is delayed, all of it. The winter weather as well as production things and holidays and all of that stuff. We were supposed to have the hardwood floor for the upstairs going in this next week. It's not even in the house yet though. They're shooting for 2 weeks from now. With flooring in, it will be an amazing transformation in this space. I am looking forward to it. In the meantime, we've got the doors ordered. Those are gonna show up this Friday. We are working on trim, that trim that took me out by, my over-enthusiastic trying to paint on the floor. The trim is going up and we're getting all of that done. Please tell me I'm not the only moron out there that has pushed a little too hard in home improvement projects and hurt myself. I have been painting the doors that are existing. The garage door, or the door between the garage and the house, I am working on painting that. The front door, while it needs to be replaced, we're not gonna replace it right away. There's nothing really wrong with it, but I didn't like the color, so I painted it. I have been actively working on getting the beams sanded, get the rough stuff knocked off, and staining those. So I've got 3 different stain options up right now, trying to figure out what one is the best one for what I'm going for. Maybe you have an opinion. Right now, I think both Chris and I are leaning towards one, but I'm curious, what do you think? Which one of those stains looks the best to you? In addition to getting the beams started, we got rid of the junk. We had another dumpster come in and all sorts of things went back in the dumpster. We're still probably gonna need 1 or 2 more dumpsters before the entire property is done. Okay, maybe more than that. We really don't know at this point. It's like, just keep adding up, whatever. The inside is moving along famously. The outside has slowed down because it's colder than crap outside. But before it got really, really cold, Chris did get some of the F channel up around the outside. So we don't have soffits right now, which makes me a little nervous because things can get in there, but we also don't have a choice. The F channel is going up. We are getting stuff figured out, and more importantly right now, Chris got the trim around the garage door and the garage windows done. So there was that huge gaping hole on the side of the garage door. It has now been sealed up, which is great, especially given the weather. We were also able to get the garage up in the heater. We are able to have the attached garage warm, which is nice to walk in and have a little bit of heat and then get into the main space. Chris has also been working on getting cabinets up in the 30 by 60 to make that a more functional space for us. All in all, we have done a lot in the last 2 months, despite all of the challenges we've had. We are getting to the point where I'm probably going to be hit or miss, and we're going to get to videos of here's the final space when it's done. So I really look forward to those types of videos versus here's a status. We keep chugging along. Any words of encouragement are always welcome. Questions, thoughts, comments. Oh, and if you're going to be around in the area and you know us, look us up. We're going to have a party next Saturday, despite the house being somewhat chaotic. Again, we were supposed to have flooring by the time the party happened, but it is what it is. Thanks for hanging out, and let me know what you think.